The 2022 MLB season has come to an end, and what a season it was. We had historic records broken, new teams break out, and other various happenings go on throughout the course of the 162 games we just played. It's been a while since some of these teams have made the postseason, and so it'll be interesting to see how they fare. I'm especially looking at the Mariners, Phillies, and Mets, all teams whose last playoff appearances were more than 5 seasons ago. For other teams, it's familiar territory. 6 out of the 12 teams in this year's field made it in last year. But enough of that, let's get to the games. I'll start over in the American League with the number 6 seeded Rays and the number 3 seeded Guardians. The number 6 Rays have fought against pretty much every injury you can think of to squeak into the playoffs with an 86-76 record. This year's team may not be as dominant as those in years past, but they can still play. Their 3.40 team ERA ranks 4th in all of baseball, and they have great hitters like Yandy Diaz and Randy Arozarena throughout the lineup. The pieces are there, but it's once again a question of how manager Kevin Cash elects to use his pitchers. On the Guardians side of things, they came out of nowhere this year to snatch the American League Central crown with a record of 92-70. Similar to their opponent in this series, they've thrived off of great pitching and great hitters. Andres Gimenez is a name to watch for in these playoffs, and he's certainly going to make a big impact, along with superstar third baseman Jose Ramirez. This series will take place in Cleveland for all 3 games, and based off of that, I'm going to pick the Guardians to take the series 2-1 and move on to the ALDS. Going north of the border to Toronto, it's the number 5 Mariners and the number 4 Blue Jays, meeting in what, in my opinion, will be the most entertaining wildcard series out of the 4. This Mariners team just continues to amaze, building off a strong season last year and finishing with a 90-72 record. New rookie sensation Julio Rodriguez is leading the charge, collecting a fantastic 5.1 Fangraphs WAR in just 131 games. Their pitching staff is positively electric, boasting a 23.2 K percentage. It's been a long time coming for these Mariners, and they have a great chance to do damage in these playoffs. Their opponent is the Blue Jays. With a record of 92-70, the Jays have, as advertised, been a great hitting team this season, having the second highest team WRC Plus at 118. Their pitching has improved from years past, and they are in the top half of the league for most relevant pitching statistics. Like the Rays and Guardians series, this will be a battle. In Toronto, it'll be loud, but I think that the Mariners will be the better team and escape with a series victory in 3 games. They're going to the ALDS. In the National League, we have the number 6 Phillies going to Busch Stadium to take on the number 3 seeded Cardinals. Contrary to the Mariners and Blue Jays matchup, this one might be my least favorite out of the 4 wildcard series. As far as the Phillies, this is their first playoff berth in over 10 years, and they barely made it in with an 87-75 record. The bats aren't questioned, it's more of their pitching that is a concern. Fortunately, they have 2 very good starters in Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. It's a solid 1-2 punch to hopefully put them in play for a Game 3. The Cardinals are definitely the juggernaut in this matchup, as they have 2 MVP candidates in their infield, a great supporting cast in the lineup, and a top 10 team ERA with 3.78. I do think the Cardinals have the upper hand in this series, and I'll take them in a 2-0 sweep to move on to the NLDS. Over in New York, it's the number 5 Padres versus the number 4 Mets. The Padres have had an interesting season, losing their superstar Fernando Tatis Jr. for the entire year, and gaining a superstar at the deadline who then regresses somewhat. But here they are in the playoffs, and they have star power to compete. Manny Machado and Juan Soto lead the lineup, and they have a borderline top 10 pitching staff in baseball. Their 9.05 K per 9 ranks 5th out of the 30 teams. They might not have the best record, but they definitely have the chance to make noise. The Mets have seen a 10.5 game lead slip from their hands, and now, as a team with over 100 wins, they'll play in the wild card round. These Mets are loaded, though. They have one of the most complete rosters up and down. They have a top 5 pitching staff, which of course is headlined by Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. Their lineup is incredibly balanced, and their .332 on-base percentage ranks 2nd in baseball. This is a whole team, and I think they'll take care of the Padres somewhat easily in 2 games and move on to the NLDS. For the ALDS's first matchup, it's the Guardians heading to the Bronx to face the New York Yankees. The Yankees have taken the season series, winning 5 out of 6 games against these Guardians. In the series that was played at Yankee Stadium in late April, the Yankees swept the 3-game set, but the Guardians have rallied as a team since their July meeting, going 51-34 since July 3rd. Can these young Guardians' arms take care of the Yankees' sluggers? They, like the Mets, are just a complete team. They have the best defense in Major League Baseball, and their starters are all plenty capable of shutting down offenses. This, along with being top 5 in most offensive categories, I just can't see the Guardians beating them. It'll be a tough series, but I'm taking the Yankees in 4. In Houston, it's the Mariners against the Astros. After a nice wildcard showing against the favored Blue Jays, the Mariners should be riding high. Until they arrive at Minute Maid Park, that is. They are a disgusting 7-20 there since the start of the 2020 season. They just go there to die. Meanwhile, the 106-56 Astros are gearing up for yet another deep postseason run. They have arguably the second best team in ball, headlined by Justin Verlander on the mound and Yordan Alvarez at the plate. The Mariners have had a season to remember so far, but I think they die with a whimper as the Astros sweep them. In the National League, the Cardinals will travel to Atlanta to take on the Braves. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado are having career years, each turning in over 7 F4. They're no doubt a force in these playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked if they take the Braves to 5 games. For the defending champion Braves, though, they've been red hot since June and have several young stars throughout the lineup. Their .442 slugging percentage is the best in the league. It's no surprise that they've clubbed 241 home runs this season. They just need the pitching to come through. Their 101-win season just won't matter if they can't find a way to win in the playoffs. And for this series, I think they accomplish it. In 5 games, the Braves come out on top and knock off the Cardinals in what could be the most entertaining series in the entire playoffs. Out in LA, the Mets travel to play the Dodgers in the division series round. If you think the Mets are an all-around complete team, the Dodgers exceed that in every facet. They are a machine. They have the best offense in the league, the best pitching in the league, and one of the best defenses in the league. They have 5 full-time players sporting a 120 WRC plus or above. 3 of their players combined for close to 20 F4. The pitching is an embarrassment of talent, with their 4 main starters combining for well over 13 F4. It's been a dominant season for the Dodgers, and it won't end in the NLDS. They beat the Mets in 5 games to earn yet another trip to the NLCS. For the ALCS, I have it being Yankees versus Astros round 3. A lot has changed for both teams since the 2019 matchup. For the Astros, they've had a pretty dominant and consistent year, going 106-56 and easily claiming the AL West title. Alex Bregman has had a resurgence during the second half of the season. Yordan Alvarez somehow got even better this year than he was last year, raising his WRC plus from 137 to a nearly impossible 184. They have so many other smaller pieces that are eager to contribute. Maybe not a small piece, but another name is Jose Altuve. His 164 WRC plus beats his 2017 MVP season by 4 points. The Yankees, on the other hand, have gone through euphoric highs and devastating lows all in the same season. It's hard to put into words how electric Nestor Cortez has been this season for the Yankees. Him, along with the rest of the pitching staff, has some of the best stuff in baseball. It'll be a great series to watch, and I think the Yankees finally get to the Astros and advance to the World Series in 7 games. In the National League, it'll be another rematch with the Braves versus the Dodgers. The Braves pretty much beat all the odds to even make the playoffs, and now they're squaring off with the best team in baseball. Ronald Acuna Jr. may not have had a season to remember for his standards, but a lot of guys would be content with 15 home runs and a 114 WRC+. Austin Riley managed to replicate his 2021 season, and a few names like Michael Harris and William Contreras have emerged as legitimate threats in that lineup. For the Dodgers, it's strictly business. Like I stated in their division series matchup, they are the best team in baseball. For that reason, I'm going to pick the Dodgers to go to the World Series once again, this time getting the better of the Braves in 6 games. The 2022 World Series, in my mind, will be the New York Yankees against the Los Angeles Dodgers. I know that this is a very stereotypical prediction to make, and maybe I'm biased for the Yankees, but I think that these are the 2 best teams. Aaron Judge just capped off the best season we've seen in nearly 20 years. He slashed .311, .425, and .686 with a .207 WRC plus in 157 games. It's really been a treat to watch him all season long, and it'll be even more interesting to see how he fares against the stingy Dodgers pitching staff. Giancarlo Stanton might be finding his swing here in October. Gleyber Torres has been hot lately. The stars are aligning for the Yankees in October. The Dodgers, though, are just a machine and will not stop at anything to accomplish their goals. LA will have home field in this series to make it even more of a challenge for New York. Although, with that said, I'm going to pick the Yankees. The Yankees will win the World Series in 7 games.